Hello everyone, and welcome to IT Learning Source, and congratulations on wanting to learn Linux because it's a big competitor of Microsoft Windows. If you're here, whether you want to learn how to do this for your job or you're just doing this because you want to stream some videos maybe, or just browse the internet or check your emails, or maybe you have an old computer laying around, this is the perfect opportunity to learn how to install Linux. The flavor I'm going to use today is called Ubuntu. And so let's get started. Open up your internet browser from your computer. And let's go ahead and go to www.ubuntu.com. Now when you get here, well, you can stop the video if you need to. But when you get to this page and you're ready, you'll see ubuntu.com. You'll see a page that looks similar to this, and click on download desktop. See where I have it in the tab here, download desktop. We're not going to be doing the server. Server's a little more complicated, so I really wouldn't recommend doing the server because you're going to be doing it from command line a lot more than anything else as far as a GUI is concerned. We're going to be using a GUI install while we're installing. Now, right here is the version of Linux that a lot of people are using that's pretty much long-term support. Here's the latest version. It's called Ubuntu 15. We're going to go ahead and download Ubuntu 15. Now, if you have an old computer, now when I say old computer, if you do not have a computer that is i3, i7, i3, i5, or i7, excuse me, I would recommend downloading the 32-bit version because it can handle older machines a lot better. But right now I'm downloading 64-bit because I know my computer can handle a 64-bit chipset CPU. And when I say i3, i5, or i7, I'm talking about the Intel CPU chipset. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now is download my Ubuntu 15. And you're going to get here, and it's going to ask you, if you want to donate some money, Now, you don't have to do this, but I have in the past, and I don't mind doing it because they do a wonderful job on creating the updates and hotfixes for this. So all you have to do, if you don't want to pay for anything right now and you just want to take a trial run, like to see if it's going to be something you want to use, you don't have to pay right now. It'll say no, not now, take me to download. Click on this and you'll see it disappears. All that does is kind of clear it for you. So right here you can see I'm downloading it. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause the screen because I've already got this downloaded and I don't need it again, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that you have it downloaded, go ahead and go to that folder. And if you're on a Windows computer, you can right click on the image. Let me go get the image for you and show you how to do this. Now I'm on a Mac. On a Mac you would pretty much do this a lot different, but you would, on a Windows computer, you would right click on the image. So here's the desktop. Right click on it and say open with, or create or burn image to disk, one or the other. So when you get through doing your disk, when you have finished installing your disk, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the install. Now I'm going to assume that you know how to install a ISO image to a CD, or burn it, in other words. If not, you can look on Google or go back and look on my site. I think I might just create a video just for doing that. Okay, so we'll see here in a bit. So for right now, let's just install the Linux. Like I said, we're using Ubuntu, and it should come up in just a moment. This is what it's going to look like when you put it in your CD on your computer or laptop or desktop, and you boot up. It's going to boot up to looking just like this, and it's going to give you an option of trying it or install. Well, we're going to install, okay, because, okay, here you want to install third party. You want to make sure your internet connection is connected. I don't recommend installing download updates while installing. That's going to take way too long, and you can always do this later. I'll show you how to do your updates after we get through this install. Okay, let's get going. It should take a minute, and here we go. Now, right here, if you had a different operating system on there, like say for it could be Windows or a different kind of operating system, it's going to ask you, do you want to install it alongside of it? Just say no, and let's erase the disk and install Ubuntu. And if you read here, it's giving you a warning. This will delete all your programs, documents, photos, music, and any other files that you may have saved on that. So please be absolutely sure that you want to continue and do this, because once you wipe the drive, anything that's on there, you're just going to lose it. So if you're unsure about going further, just stop what you're doing, take the hard drive out, and replace it with another hard drive that you can use. Okay, so if you're sure or whatever, let's get on with the install. So we're going to click install now, and it says again, everything's going to be deleted. Are you sure you want to do this? Pretty much is the same thing it's saying about making changes to your disk. You're giving it permission by saying okay. Now we're installing. Now it wants your time zone. So it knows I'm in Central Time Zone right now. You may be in the East Coast side, or you may be in the West Coast side. So you would do Los Angeles, or you could be in Denver. But I'm in Central, and I'm in the Chicago zone, and I'm going to say continue with that time zone. Right here, it's going to ask for your keyboard layout. It seems it's detected that I'm using English. If you're not using English and you want some other flavor, here's where you need to change that right now. So let me see. I'm going to have to. And here, it's going to ask for your name. And we're going to pick a username. I'm going to use user test. Up here, you can name this whatever you want. I'm just doing it as a test, so I'm not really going to worry about this. I'm just going to take off the virtual name there. Computer name, and then PC. And that should do it for me. Be sure to put your password in there. This is going to be your username. When you log in a computer, you need to use user test or whatever you put here as a username. Okay? Then you need to put in a password, because you won't be able to do anything until you have your password. Now here we go. It's installing. And go ahead and read all the good features that it has. You can click here and go a little faster on reading some of these, but you'll see it's going to be installing here by installing everything from that image that you created on the CD. And what I'm going to do is just pause from here, and I'll be right back when the install is complete. Okay, it looks like the installation is complete, and it's wanting us to go ahead and restart now. So click restart now. Now, if you have a CD in your laptop, it may prompt you to pull out the CD and then push the CD back in and then press enter to restart. Shouldn't take too much longer. Okay, here we are. We're at the login prompt. Just remember that whatever user ID you used and your password, you need to put that in now. And you should come to a screen that looks like this on your computer next. This will be your GUI, your desktop. Like if you logged into Microsoft Windows, this would be your desktop. Okay. So if you notice, the screen is pretty much too big. Okay. We can change the desktop background by right-clicking on the desktop. Okay. But I wouldn't recommend doing that yet. What we're gonna need to do is you need to give me just a moment so I can come back, because I need to install some tools on my VMware. You know what? I was thinking, let's go ahead. Some of you people may be out there using a VM. So if you're using VirtualBox or something like that, you need to go up to your VM and click install. Let me just say, yeah, here, let me show you. Go to virtual machine and install VMware Tools. What this enables you to do is use your mouse, as in going in and out of the window here like I'm doing. It also gives you your video driver, so you can have the proper resolution on your display. So what I'm going to do is click on Install VMware Tools, say Install. It's not really going to install it unless you're probably on Windows operating system with your VM. But what you need to do here is it will open. You see here where it says VMware Tools. So let's right click on this tar file. It's zipped like a WinZip program. We're going to right click and say extract to, and we're going to extract that down to downloads folder is where I'm going to put it. Okay, so we're done with that. So we're going to close the window we're in, and just say continue here because it's got probably a bug or two in it, so no worries. So right now, go up here and click on your little tab, and this is your search. We're going to open up a terminal, type term, and it'll open this up for you. Okay, so down here where it says term, right click on there and say lock to launcher. Okay, so now, excuse me, now this will be on here all the time when you need it. Okay, so in order to run something, we need to use the sudo command. Okay, and you can see it gave me an error because I didn't issue anything else with this command. So let me clear the screen, and I'm in my home user test. This is my home directory. I'm going to look and see what all is in this folder. So I have my downloads folder here. If you see, here's my downloads. Okay, so I'm going to right click and copy that, and I'm going to say CD, which means change directory, to that downloads folder. And you'll see if you do ls-l, it's going to tell you that it's a directory. So that means we need to go inside that directory. So right click on there and copy that name and CD again to that directory. So we're going to do ls-l, and we're going to look for this script. See, right here's the script that we're going to use to install this VMware Tools in our virtual machine. So we're going to copy that. We're going to type sudo, okay, and then we're going to type // and we're going to paste, excuse me, dot, I needed a dot, // and we're going to paste the name of that script in there. It wants my password, so enter your password. And it's wanting to know where you want to install these tools. So by default, if you just press enter, okay, it will automatically install it to this directory for you. So anything in the parentheses here, it will install for you when it asks a question right here. Okay, it says in which directory do you want to install the binary files. user bin is what it's saying, and say, you know, enter for yes. Okay, what is the directory that contains the init directories, and enter again. And this is what's the directory that contains the init scripts, enter again, and just by default. And it says, is this what you want? Yes. Press it, enter. And also on the documentation files, again, enter, yes, yes. Now it's installing. Yes. The path, would you like to change it and just say no, and no, and enter, and yes, and yes. Just like I said, just default, and you should be okay. All right. And it's finishing up. No use going into big details on this, okay, because you don't really need to know all of this until you start having to learn how to do this for work or something. So anyway, it shows we finished. It says enjoy the VMware team. Okay, so clear, cleans the screen, exit, gets out of there, and now what I need to do is reboot or shut down and come back in on this machine, so it'll have a larger screen and it will look a lot better. Okay, so let's go up here and restart, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Now you can see it's a lot clearer, a lot more clear, because it pulled the video drivers from my computer in this VMware. Okay, so what I can do now is sort of move this over a little bit and stop right here, and you can see it pulled, and now I can see the whole desktop. Now if you wanted to see the whole desktop, you would go here and go to view full screen, see, and now you'll see it'll take the whole screen, and that's what VMware Tools does for you. Okay, so while we're in here, let me show you, like I said, I promised you I'd show you how to do your updates. So let's go ahead and do your updates. So you're going to type sudo right here and apt-get. This is an apt is a program they use to go out and grab some software. It's a tool that you can use to get your updates, install some software. I'll show you about the software in just a minute, but for right now, let's just get our updates. Sudo apt-get update, okay? Update. And it's going to want your password, like I said before. Go ahead and enter that. And now it's updating. Okay, we're all done on the update. Now, here's two ways you can install some software, and this is going to be the last thing I'm going to talk about, and then I'll leave you alone with your new installed operating system. Here is Word, just like Word, Microsoft Word, but it's called LibreOffice. You can save files as Microsoft Office or as export it as a PDF. You have Impress, which is similar to Microsoft's presentation software. This is like Excel. Okay, so give you a sample of what Excel. See, it's just like Excel. You can even open up Microsoft Excel in here. Here, I always unlock that because I don't use that. But we don't use a floppy, so unlock that. Right-click, unlock it. If you go here, this is Ubuntu Software Center. Okay, now if you don't want to take the time to learn the command line so soon, you can go in here and install your software just by looking for it. Now if you look, VLC is a media player. All you do is click on highlight it and then click install, and it's going to go over here and download, and it's going to ask, possibly it's going to ask you for your password. So just give it let it, what it's doing now is downloading and installing. Okay, now let's go back here and let's go to net, go to code blocks. Now code blocks, if you're a programmer, code blocks is a program you can use to learn how to be a programmer with C and C++. First you learn C, and then it's already compiled with your C++ library, and you're good to go. So I'm going to install that on here just by clicking install. Okay, so that's installed. Now here, let me show you something. Let's see if I could find something to install real quick. I'd like to show you how this works from the command line. Let me think of something to install. I had it at the, let's see if we can find something here. Let's just say sudo apt-get Sublime. There we go. Here's Sublime. This is a text editor, sort of like opening up something in VI on here. If you look, that would be a text editor. Okay, but we're not going to use that. I'm just going to show you how to install Sublime, which is a text editor. Okay, so let me go ahead. Ubuntu. Now, if you go in here, it's going to show you we may need to add something to the repository, and all that is telling you. All that is you're telling the computer or apt-get, this is where this is located, and I would like you to add this to my repository list. Excuse me. Too funny. You would type sudo apt-get, okay, or you can forget that and you can just go in here and copy it if you want. So we're going to add this to your repository list. And we're going to press enter so it'll copy it there. It was done. So now we need to update so it'll pull down some files. So it doesn't seem to be. There we go. It found it that time. I mistyped that. Sorry about that. So here is our command. Now, this is what I was talking about. You can either install software through this, which is your Ubuntu Software Center, or you can find the command through Google and install a program using apt-get install. So here we go, and it's installing. So it went out, it fetched the program, it downloaded it, and now it installed. And if you want to see it, it should be up in here. Type sub, and here it is, Sublime. It's up here now. See? Now I would right click and lock it to my launcher. So when I close this, it'll still be here so I can use it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of installing Ubuntu Linux. I'm Don from IT Learning Source, and hope to see you again. Thank you.